Hello, welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace. At the beginning of January of 2023 this year, there were a lot of important events that took place. There was Winter Jazz Festival, there was APAP, as well as a lot of music showcases. But another event that took place was the first annual 2023 NYC Jazz Piano Festival, which took place at the Klavierhaus here in New York City. I had a chance here on the Pace Report on the last night of the 2023 New York Jazz Piano Festival to sit down with the artistic director of the festival, Jim Luce, for a few minutes to talk about the origins and why he decided to start this festival, as well as document and interview some of the musicians that took place on the last evening, including the great Benito Gonzalez, Aaron Parks, and Edsel Gomez and Clifton Anderson in their duo performance, as well as the closer with the legendary Ethan Iverson. So sit back, relax, and enjoy highlights and interviews and performances of the first annual 2023 New York Jazz Piano Festival, live at Klavierhaus here in New York City, here on the Pace Report. Tell everybody about the importance of this piano festival.
Yeah, it's very important because it's for us piano players is the way to use music as a tool to bring people together, to bring some happiness. It's been a rough couple of years, and I'm thrilled to be part of this festival. It's amazing, and the lineup is quite amazing too. So I'm just thrilled to be here, sharing my message and playing the music of the great McCoy Tyner. His music brings that kind of happiness to people. So it's a huge honor for me.
Benito, one of your heroes, two of your heroes left the band stage last year. We lost the great Pharoah Sanders, and the year before we lost the great McCoy Tyner. Tell me what they mean to you as a musician and what they've imparted you as a musician.
Yeah, first of all, learning of McCoy Tyner when I was in Venezuela changed, my life instantly. I found so much happiness on his music, and I wanted to play like that, and I still want to. I'm still working on it, but he meant a lot to me. Mostly freedom, the freedom that comes out of his music, and the spiritual point of view. He also played percussion like I did, so we have some things in common. Also, so it was hard for me to learn about his passing. since we, I did an album to honor his music, and he, he sponsored the album. So I got to know him very well. So it was hard for me. His music meant a lot to me, like mostly the spiritual point of view and the freedom that I try to give and pass forward to the new generations, And with Farrell, it's a similar thing, a little bit deeper because he spent a lot of time with Coltrane. So Farrell was teaching me not so much by telling me what to play, but to be in the moment and to be honest in the moment. That's what I learned from Farrell. He was constantly talking about Coltrane in the airports when we had days off in the breakfast, and he was talking about Coltrane, sometimes about Elvin. Of course, McCoy was his favorite pianist. There was so much similarity in between them, So it was hard because I spoke with him 2 days before his passing, and he didn't sound like he was any sick. I was in Venezuela and he was in LA, but when I learned that he had left the building, it was I was very shocked, and it was rough not to be able to be with him, But his music is still with me, and I'm gonna, keep that legacy. I'm gonna keep that legacy, and the Creator has a master plan, So we're gonna keep that alive, and and I hope that we can inspire the new generation like they did with us, like McCoy and Farrell.
Oh, well, it's just a real honor. A lot of my biggest heroes were here the last 4 days. So, you know, if I could have been here for all of it, I would have taken a lesson from all of them. But, you know, to finish it out is also, it just feels like kind of an honor, I guess.
You're playing on one of the most important pianos in the world. I probably would call it the Rolls Royces of pianos. You doing a solo on this. What were you thinking when you were playing tonight?
Well, it's very easy to play this piano, the Fazioli. It's well regulated and has a big dynamic range. So I just tried to listen to what it had to tell me, really.
Jim, this was a feat. I mean, 4 days, 27 pianists, solo piano, your love for solo piano. This is all part of the Jazz Society too, for jazz piano as well. Explain to my viewers about that too.
Well, I just look. We're in New York. If there's an affinity group for everything.
Right.
Right. And right now, I just think, okay, I need to build an audience, and I can't do it all by myself. What I can do is I can create a home for, every pianist that I spoke with said, would you come back? He goes, of course I'll come back. The space is harmonious. It's a pristine environment. It's a terrific space, and it's intimate in the most important kind of way, where the musician can get direct feedback from the audience without any barrier, like a living room concert, only with more seats. We have 60 seats, and that's not a lot. But it's just the right size to be able to do this. We have a video setup that's really great, and we started this by at the beginning of the pandemic. Nobody had anything to do, so I invited Frank Kimbrough to come down, and I created a series that we streamed to Japan called Love Letter from New York. And we had Edsel and Cyrus Chestnut and Arturo O'Farrill and a whole lot of really incredible musicians. And then Rufus Reid contacted me. He saw Frank's, he saw the tape somehow, and we talked. And the next thing you knew, we did 12 concerts here with Rufus and 12 of his favorite pianists. And this is like a thing for a legacy thing, with Bill Charlap and Rini Rosnes and George Cables and a lot of really great musicians. So I saw, Rufus. I said, well, if Rufus believes in the music and like this, then I really have to ask myself 2 questions: am I going to do it, or am I going to not do it? And I am not I'm not supported by a foundation or by grants or anything. I paid for this out of my own pocket. I did it because I love the music, and because I get to do what I think is important today, instead of having to be, a lot of my life I was like a rat chasing cheese, and I noticed a lot of jazz people are in that mode a lot because of the nature of where we stand in the pecking order of society. But having said that, it's my great joy tonight to walk out of here after presenting 27 concerts, and ending with Ethan Iverson's sonata, and working with Sarif Abdul Salam and Clifton Anderson. I'm filled. My spirit's filled, and the next thing I'll do, I think, is a Latin American Piano Festival in a few months, after I pull my heels. So that's how I basically do it. I do it on the kindness and the willingness that I've offered to musicians. They offered back to me, and it's very much. I didn't write one contract for this whole thing. It was all on a handshake, every last thing, and we had nary a hiccup. So, and I got to meet you. So it's all good.
Next year, when you do this, are there some things that you want to focus on? Because I thought one of the most important parts of this was the duo with Edsel and Clifton. I thought that was a change of pace from the solo, because they both played some very different music styles.
Well, I had Jason W. Marshall and Willem Delafort here last night as well, and that was a baritone saxophone and piano, and that was also great. I think the important thing is You can make, when you punctuate a presentation with something, it's more, because otherwise I'd be doing great duos, which is something that we may decide to do too. Dave Burrell played with David Murray, and that was exciting because he played with Archie Shepp. And then
Dee Dee Bridgewater did a duo set with Bill Sharp,
yeah,
which was beautiful.
yeah, and they came to Palm Springs and did it.
Yeah, that was a beautiful set.
Yeah. So look, I think jazz is fine without me, but I saw in the reaction from the audience and the musicians that what I'm trying to do is important enough to keep trying.
some powerful music out there. Tell me how you guys got together.
Well, Edsel, and you want me to give it? It's up to you.
I went to a place up in Harlem with a friend of mine, a doctor friend of mine that plays saxophone. We went to see Sonny Fortune. He rest in peace. And they called me to sit in, so I sat in, and the drummer was Ronnie Bourage. We immediately hooked up. It's like we played 2 notes, and oh my God, you know. Immediately we hooked up. So he started recommending me around for doing some things with different cats, and then he brought me to meet Clifton, and I started playing with him.
And we hit it off too, just like.
Yes, just like that. And I didn't know about his heritage. I have no clue of who he was at the time, and you know, he was a wonderful musician and wonderful music and everything. Then that's when I finally learned that he is from the lineage of Sonny Rollins family, nephew.
Harlem's fine.
So you know, it's also for me an opportunity to grasp all of that heritage that he has in his blood, and he's sharing through the music and everything, you know. So for me, coming from Puerto Rico, and you know, I would have loved to have played with Sonny. I never had that opportunity, but playing with him now, and you know, playing with the guys that used to play with him, I get a feeling of what it was, you know. So for me, it's another very special thing. But it's not because of that, because I had no clue about that when we started playing, and I enjoyed the music deeply and wonderful.
And so this is a very unique piano festival. This is kind of one of the first of its kind of solo piano players from all walks of life playing for 4 days. What was it like playing that solo set out there this evening?
Well, I do a lot of solo things all over the world, so I wasn't really thinking of that it's a festival and so many people are playing. I was happy that I was going to get to play, and Fazioli, that is my favorite pianos. So every time I got a chance to play in one of those, you know, it breathes. Music makes, you know, it's very easy when this kind of instrument to hear something in your mind and play it. But sometimes you play other kinds of instruments or keyboards or something, you know, it's a completely different thing, because you hear something and when you try to play it, it's not that, so you have to adjust all the time to what the instrument does. Whereas the instrument gives you inspiration. Oh my God, that sounds like that. You know, some sounds I discovered playing these kind of instruments that I didn't even know they existed until I heard them coming out of the instrument. That's how deeply grateful I am to be able to play in one of those. So that's what was mostly in my heart. Of course, I love sharing with everybody, and I didn't get to. Unfortunately, I was working. I didn't get to see many of the colleagues performing. I hope I get to see Ethan, which I admire a lot. We're old friends. I met Ethan back in Japan many years ago. He's a wonderful player and a wonderful mind. You know, I enjoy very much his music. So hopefully, I get to get some of that tonight.
Do you think that the camaraderie between you two is the songs that you played were so diverse too? You went from bread to standards. You know, does that enhance what you guys are doing musically?
Oh yeah, well, you know, part of what I'm trying to do at this point in my career is I'm trying to pull from all of my foundational areas, you know, that I've come up in. You know, I came up. People, you know, assume that I've, you know, from the time I was 3 years old, I was just listening to straight ahead music, but that's not the case. I came up listening to a lot of pop music, gospel music. My father was a church organist, European classical music. I have a wide range of influences. So I'm trying to meld that also with what I think is important going on right now in the industry with the music, trying to not only play music, well, yes, play music that we can feel, that is in us, but also that we can relate to an audience, for an audience to appreciate. And you know, we have in this music, it's very interesting now because we have such a wide variety of demographic in this music. I mean, I can play a show and there's just nothing but like young people there. And then I play another show like this evening where you have a wide range of people. You have some older people there that know those standards, you know, and they want to hear some standards. And I know that. So I try to create a show, depending on what I'm doing, where everybody can get a piece, get a little something from it. You know, as well as original material that we're writing. Edsel's got some beautiful original material, and I'm really trying to push musicians today that have gotten to a certain point in their abilities to write music, write original music, because as great as the music that we've had in the past is, what is our contribution to that pot? You know, we're in a generation now that we haven't contributed around midnight. We haven't contributed a solar. We haven't contributed a sentimental mood. You see, so it's not that I'm saying that we have musicians that are capable, well, are doing it right now, but the potential is always there. And unless you try to move towards that, you're never even going to start to approach it. Which is why, in my opinion, we don't have a lot of standards, right? You know, we should have standards today that are being written today, right? That people are going to be able to listen to 30, 40 years from now and say, oh, wow, that's just like they do, you know, a Thelonious Monk piece, you know, or a Herbie Hancock piece, you know. So this is what we're trying to do. This is what we've been, you know, what our mission is right now. We're trying to not only kind of spark that kind of thing in the musician community, but we're also trying to bring that to the stage in whatever way we can do it, whether it's a duo or whether it's the sextet or whatever we're in, whatever we're doing.
me how important this type of piano festival is to jazz music, because this is kind of the first of its kind of a solo piano jazz festival.
I think it's really cool, and I wish that I had had the chance to hear everybody live in person here. Just I'm very excited to have the chance, once this is all recorded and they're putting this out, to hear what everybody's up to. Piano players, we often don't get to hang out with each other as much, you know. Yeah, I don't know why exactly that is, but it's really beautiful to have the fellowship kind of come together here.
What was it that you were playing out there? I know this is the first time you said in a month that you started playing the piano again.
Yeah, I took about a month off. I was out in Colombia and didn't have a lot of access to an instrument out there, and so I don't know. I was playing. I played a few songs of mine. I played a lot of just improvisations and seeing what happened. Trying. I'm finding myself these days interested in just being at the piano and not performing as much. Trying not to show something that I can do, but just to be exactly where I am and how I am at the instrument, and being okay with that. And I find that at times that does lead to things that I really wouldn't expect, that I wouldn't have. There's something that comes from that surrender, I think, of not being completely in control, that can be really interesting. But I was playing some other songs as well. I played Ida Lupino by Carla Bley. I played a little bit of that one. Played Around Midnight, of course, when I opened that up to a request. A few of my tunes.
Sophisticated Lady.
Sophisticated Lady, exactly, yeah. One of my favorites by the great Duke Ellington.
That'll do it again for another edition of the Pace Report, reporting live at the first annual 2023 New York City Jazz Piano Festival, live at the Klavierhaus here in New York City. I'd like to personally thank all the musicians that took place at this year's piano festival. Also, I'd like to personally thank Mr. Jim Luce for his time. People, make sure you support the upcoming jazz piano concerts that will be taking place as part of the Winter Piano Jazz Festival at the Klavierhaus. For more information, please visit them online at NewYorkCityJazzPianoFestival.com. Also, people, please like, share, and subscribe to my videos here on YouTube and Vimeo, and leave comments. Also, follow me on social media by way of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Till next time, peace.